Hey, fellas. What's going on, my guys? It's the Tuesday show, whatever we're calling this thing. We're a couple minutes after noon here in the East. It's Bags, Jeff DI, and GPG Pisa. Hey, boys. How are we?
We're doing good. Real good. I got to pull up the YouTube. I wanted to get the chat. Let's see. There we go.
As I share my screen here, Nick, we were going through, a lot of ifs and thens scenarios before we hit the live button. And to say this is going to be a volatile week is probably an understatement. But we'll see how it plays out. And we say it. I say that it might be a volatile week because we have Fed announcement tomorrow. Everyone, their mother, I think it's up 90%, is expecting at least a quarter basis point cut. Then we have Oracle earnings along with some other earnings tomorrow. And then on Thursday, we have Broadcom earnings, which, as we know in the semiconductor space, it can rock everything in the queues. So, Nick, how are you looking at this? What are you doing? Are you raising any cash? Are you preparing to put something in play? Are you just letting it ride? What's going on?
Yeah, no, I'm pretty hefty long. I was pretty happy to see a red Monday, kind of as we talked about. I generally like seeing red Mondays, just being, I think that the playbook is pretty, I don't want to say predictable, but somewhat, like when you think about a red Monday, it bodes well for a turnaround Tuesday, chop Wednesday, or even a push higher Wednesday to, the sheep shaking Thursdays, and then hopefully setting up for a strong Friday close. And I think in how everything kind of played out, like we did have a red Monday yesterday, but it wasn't really that bad. We didn't really pull in that hard. If anything, all we did was pull into kind of the 10-day EMA and a lot of names, including the ES and the NQs. I had a thought that perhaps we would pull in a little bit harder, like into the 20 or the 50-day. Prior to the Fed. It doesn't look like that's going to happen. I could see it. I came in today wanting to get aggressive, just being that I thought that there was going to be a lot of short covering that would happen pre-Fed. And so far it's playing out well. I think that coming into tomorrow, I think we could see a volatile morning. I think that we could see shorts continuing to cover, but I could also see, longs wanting to lighten up into the Fed for whatever reason. I think if we do, ultimately rip out of the Fed, I would really like to see the pull-in on Thursday remained somewhat contained and within kind of the body of whatever candle we put in tomorrow. Which, you could, yeah, sure. The narrative could be that Broadcom comes in to save the day, and then we, rip into Friday.
Or Broadcom torches the day, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's absolutely a possibility too. I'm not saying that that's the
Are they
most probable
pre-market
case.
or are they post-market?
No, they're post-market.
They're post-market. I kind of, yeah, okay. So as long as, like I said, as long as Thursday, that we kind of said, the saying always goes, when it comes to these kind of news-driven events, like first move is the false move. The real move that sticks is going to come later. You can narrow that down from into the 5, 10 minute, 15 minute intraday charts, and you can even zoom out to like the daily and intra-week charts as well. So if we rip out of the Fed, you should anticipate, I think, a weak open or some form of weakness on Thursday. If we just kind of chop around and fuck around tomorrow, I think you could lean a little bit more to the upside on Thursday. But looking at like the chart just from a technical perspective, like let's say, just looking at the E-minis, man, we've been we ripped off the lows, and we've been in a really tight consolidation for the past 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, almost 9 trading sessions. So
yep.
As a both optimist and somewhat, I don't want to say perma-bull, but someone that's very bullish, I would lean towards the trend resuming to the upside. And the charts look fucking pretty. Yeah, let me pull up the NQs too.
GB, what are you thinking? You've been on the It's Shitco Winter 2.0 now for at least a couple months, and I would guarantee you haven't pivoted off that much. Do you think all this bullshit with the Fed and earnings coming up over the next 2 days matter, or the trend's just going to continue?
We've been trendless, so I hope it doesn't continue because that sucks.
I guess it depends on what time frame you look at that trend.
You can look at it the last 3 months. We've been trendless. We literally haven't gone anywhere. 3-4 months.
This guy, we're going to have we're in a downtrend, uptrend. We haven't gone anywhere. Like this is going to be 2023 all over again with us, isn't it, GP?
2022. 2023 we were uptrending, so there was no arguments there, guys. I love your cautious optimism, but bull the fuck up.
Yeah,
throw some fucking nuts, right? Like, sorry.
I just told Randy I'm fully positioned long. I am fully positioned long.
Like,
go ahead,
look at what's going on. So if you want to see what the markets will do, pull up the silver chart. You're on a weekly time frame. Look at the daily time frame. 7, 8, 9 days, right into the daily moving average of the 9 prior days. Tag overnight, boom, off we go. We are in a very similar situation. We are tight consolidated right at the gap from October 24th, the China gap up. We've been holding going on there. We are repairing bullish timeframes on almost every technical time frame intraday. We just got the golden cross on the 4-hour. FOMC will probably have a shite candle for that half an hour, or whatever it is. So I'm not talking about that one moment where you might be right for 5 minutes.
Or an hour.
Or an hour, whatever. You are looking at a consolidative breakout that is going to be. What I started with was we're trendless, and you can argue either direction, but for 4 months, since September 18th, the first rate cut of 2025, we have literally gone 0 places. Up or down, we've been going back and forth. On Trump torpedo candle, we tagged that low. On 11/21, we double bottomed against that same low of the 9/18 FOMC candle. We have gone 0 places in 3 months almost, and everything I'm seeing on FinTwit is let's repeat December 18th, 2024. And
I've seen that, yeah.
And people are positioned for it. Look at what the VIX did yesterday on 0 news, on 0 anything. It was up, what, 10, 15% yesterday or whatever nonsense it was up.
December.
Look across the board. Like this to me, and I am positioned that way. We will say it again and again and again. This 3 months has conditioned you to be a certain way, and that is sell resistance, buy support, sell resistance, buy support. That at some point will change, and this will be the 3rd cut if they do the cut. Obviously, if they don't do the cut and the Fed's an asshole and says, hey, we are data dependent for data they keep canceling or changing, I hope not, because ultimately, like outside of stocks and all this other stuff, small businesses are suffering. And if small businesses get an opportunity to, and the ones that survived, right? We've talked about this for the last 6 months. Everyone who's in the small business space has pretty much figured out how to survive the monetary shift. And now that monetary shift needs to be cemented so they can plan. This, where data dependent, leaves people without the ability to plan long term. Maybe a month, maybe 3 months, maybe 6 months, but give small businesses an opportunity to get this economy growing and things moving. And I think the Fed will realize that on this earnings. That's what their commentary will, on this FOMC, and that's what their commentary will be, which will then ignite what is a 4-year base in the making in the IWM.
So Nick, GP called us out. He said, "Bull the fuck up." And,
yeah, we are bull the fuck up.
It's been one of us too, practically for the last 3 months, that has kept screaming, "You're not bullish enough." And now he pulls the card, "Bull the fuck up" on us. How about that? How about that? I mean, this is just unbelievable. This guy sometimes. I love you, GP. But back to the shitcos, right? Shitco 2.0. Yeah. I think we have talked at length about what your expectations are of the IWM, and you're saying you were positioned as such. Do you think that they continue to be the leader through the end of the quarter and the start of Q1 2026, or when does this trade finally fall off? I'm going to pull up the RTY just so we can take a look at. It's done nothing.
I think it looks fucking on the precipice of an absolute ripper. So I don't know. I would say, if anything, I kind of agree with GP's point in the idea that, like, if any, the IWM has done nothing but condition me for like disappointment in terms of the IWM.
Always.
Like, that's how I kind of feel about it. But if this thing starts to like break out and follow through, I think that we could be, it could be definitely shitco season 2.0. Like,
and the first breakout will be one where everyone will attempt to short because of that conditioning. Everyone will attempt to short the hell out of it, which is the power that drives it higher, right? And if it's a real breakout, and that's dependent on what the FOMC and stuff say. So as long as the FOMC stays true to the path of monetary policy easing, the shorts will continue to come in on RTY because it's worked for so long that they will end up pushing the RTY higher faster than the other indices. You're already seeing every single day it's distribution out of the mega caps, if you haven't noticed, right? Since 11/21.
I've noticed.
Yeah, so it's Apple looked great. Today's red. Apple Meta looks good. Red today, right? Like, they're rotating between it. Nvidia is coming down. Google is now green today. Yesterday was red. Across the board, you're seeing rotations, and what you're seeing, number one, for small caps. I think the biggest leader of small caps is your space. There's two things that I watch. It's small caps are led by crypto, risk on assets, and crypto is telling you a lot of stuff here. And the second one is Tesla.
Yeah.
Right.
Tesla is the train that has never gotten to Chicago.
Yes, but when it goes to Chicago, it goes to Mars, right? So, that's right. You like what I did there? Anyway,
I just love when crypto's on a 10% day. I mean, it's hard to knock me off my mood when I see everything up in crypto between 8 and 10%. Like those are the days that your boy loves. There's 2 days that I love: when crypto's up huge and when semiconductors and Amazon are up huge. Like you roll that all into one, and I've got the nipple tassels out.
That's
the nice thing about
Amazon will always disappoint you.
The nice thing about the way crypto is breaking out today and actually having this monster of a day is that they're pretty looking technical breakouts. Like you're getting a definitive like trend line break in a lot of, like, whether it's Ethereum or some of the other ones like Dodge and Stellar, XLM, whatever, Stellar Lumen, whatever the fuck it's called. Like they're technical. It's not just like a random 10% update or a random just like, I don't know, ripper of a day. It's coming while also like definitively breaking and snapping trend lines. Ethereum's even pushing through the declining 50-day. It didn't quite hold that 3,000 and like as pretty as I thought it might. That Sunday kind of whatever bar we had Sunday, I thought was like, it didn't get me to sell any. So I kind of wanted to like pound my chest a little bit to myself at least, because I was like, they're gonna fucking try and shake me out of this shit. But yeah. Anyways, my point being that it's not just a random like ripper of a day. It's coming on the cusp of like trend lines breaking, and like kind of reclaiming levels that they really needed to. I don't know.
That descending wedge that we drew, what was it, last week on Ethereum?
Yeah,
that really couldn't have been much better. Or 2 weeks ago on Ethereum couldn't have been much better. Bang off of that support zone, that 3,000 basically, where we were all in agreement that we had to overcome short term. Yeah, wicked under, but as we've talked about 1,000 times, the undercut and go, baby, the undercut and go. And shout out to Kenny Glick. I didn't know he had coined that way before us. I knew it wasn't novel to us, but I mean, hey, undercut and go, baby. Just undercut and go.
Yeah. Do you catch much of his shows?
Yeah, I catch him every once in a while.
It's a fucking riot.
Nick, to your to your point on Ethereum, though, Ethereum is showing that it is the leader, right? You look at it compared to Bitcoin, and of course Solana's ripping right now because everything that's on its network is ripping. You've got shit coins ripping, but I mean, for the most part, I think Ethereum just looks awesome. And there you go. GP, I know you're bullish Ethereum.
Bullish Ethereum, but even like I posted the chart, right? Like it started on Sunday. They closed the week. Bulls stepped in and closed the week on Bitcoin in a way that said, okay, game on, right? And I think that's like, if you go to the Bitcoin Weekly, Ben.
Sure. Yeah.
Like it doesn't give you a lot of information there, right? But it's an insight in after a heavy volume sell-off, right? Versus the recent trend. You have this ability where crypto doesn't make a new low. I mean, Bitcoin doesn't make a new low, right? The following week after that kind of wick down. And the second week is like, it started rough, right? Like really, really rough that Sunday night. and everyone's like, oh, there comes the 64,000, right? It's going to repeat the exact same pattern from 2021, 2022. You know how crowd stuff works. And so I was talking to my Discord group, and I'm like, everyone thinks this is going to happen. It most likely won't, right? And we'll need the bulls to reclaim. This was on Saturday. By Sunday evening at 8 p.m., we will need the bulls to reclaim that candle on the weekly. And sure enough, they came in and closed it green, first of all, on heavier volume on and above the prior week's body. Yes, it's a doji, so it doesn't give you a lot of information, but that price action told you that all the information that you needed, that we're ready to move higher. And look at the follow through from those two inside candles on Bitcoin, on Ethereum, on the entire space. And so Bitcoin in April and crypto in April front led the breakout of the taco trading, right? Which is now commonplace, but in April we had no idea what taco trading was, right? So you have crypto in the same spot while the markets are on the verge of breaking out. So love the setup here. The confluences of multiple events tells you to nut up and get ready for what's potentially coming. J-Powell hates Trump, so maybe he screws everyone. But I'm hoping that a man who has worked his entire career to make sure our economy hasn't died in the last 8 years doesn't all of a sudden have a immoral compass to say I'm going to screw everyone. I don't think it will be.
I don't think that's who the man is. I think he will have a seamless transition into whoever the new Fed chair will be, which Polymarket has it on Hastert right now. Hastert, I don't know. I have him as the leader right now, but I think J-Powell will have all his ducks in a row to have a transition that goes smooth. I don't think he's going to try to screw anybody over. I don't think he's trying to make anybody look bad. I think the man is, regardless of how we believe his policies have done, right? Always late, stays too late, shows up too late, all that stuff. I think he has tried to be as honorable in his position as he can be. And when, he has a kerfuffle in the presser, which is really not that often, I just think it's too data dependent, which has been your biggest gripe, GP, especially when the data, at least from our eyes, doesn't make sense of what that hypothesis is. So I think J-Powell's not going to. I'm not worried about him doing something that he shouldn't do. But we're all human.
I mean, it's pretty much baked in that they're slashing by a quarter, right?
Yeah, it's like 90%.
So
I think it was 87 last night or something like that.
It's really going to, I think, boil down to what they say and how they say it, especially pointing to the future.
Can you? I've heard this multiple times, and I don't understand what this means. Can you please explain what you mean by baked in?
Like when you look at the poly market, the betting markets, they're basically it's like damn near 100%.
But it's not baked into the markets. Maybe it's in some
prediction I wasn't referring to I wasn't referring to the price action or because kind of to your point, we haven't really gone anywhere.
We've had this debate before though, right? And it is the market efficient? Does the market see ahead? Does the market price things ahead? Sometimes the market gets things wrong, right? The market is not infallible because the market is controlled by humans, right? So I think when people are saying is baked in, they're already looking at what the most likely scenario is, being a Fed rate cut. The market prices that up or marks that up, right? Could that be true? We don't know until after the announcement's made, right? Until after he gets off the podium. We don't know what that's going to be. But common sense says it's likely getting cut. which usually likely leads to the market going higher, especially now that you have quantitative tightening off the table, which ended at the beginning of the month, right? I think that was a huge thing for everyone to see that the QT was over. And now with that, an additional rate cut, I think, Nick, I think you're probably right. What we're going to see, and we're having way too much Fed talk, but I think what we're likely to see is what the expectations are in the future, right? How many cuts, how big are the cuts? And I know JPAL hates the dot plots, but a lot of times that is what people who are going through this with a fine tooth comb sort of gnash their teeth over, is how the dot plots look. So I think that is likely, regardless of what he says, I think the way that looks is likely the way that the market will forecast or people in the market, participants in the market will forecast what at least the early part of 2026 is going to look like.
There's a chapter in O'Neill's book, How to Make Money in Stocks, that he speaks to major market tops and how typically a third consecutive interest rate hike typically marks a pretty significant market top, at least in like in speaking towards like near term. So probably, like 6 months to a year out, which I think that would align with what led into 2022. He has never, at least as far as I've seen, I haven't seen him speak to the third consecutive interest rate cut being a major catalyst, but I would assume that it would. Like if we see again, like we basically set it 100%, so we'll likely see a quarter point. That'll be the third consecutive interest rate cut. And like we like you said, like they have. I totally lost my train of thought. Like where I was going with that was I was like, I'm thinking like, I'm sorry, like I got like dots that are like connecting my head. My mouth can't move as fast. My brain is moving. But like if it's the third, if we see a third consecutive interest rate cut, could that act as like a catalyst for like the next major leg higher? Does their interest rate cut, like what they do in like early 2026, is that going to impact whether or not we are going to like leg up or not? I don't know. I haven't, like I said, I haven't seen anything in terms of like bottoming, more as a topping, but
yeah.
I just see John I did.
Yeah, good to see John.
Thanks, John. Train of thought edge, yes. I did have to say.
I will make the argument that none of it's priced in.
As I knew you would.
And the markets are not front leading anything. We have been in a data dependent topsy-turvy FOMC. What tomorrow can bring is what direction the markets are going. Once we get that direction, we then start to price it in. If we were pricing it in, we wouldn't be sitting under all-time highs in small caps. We'd already have busted loose, right? Like that's my number one thing that I can tell you is like, if we were priced in, like mentally we're priced in, we're going to have a 25 basis point cut. But what's the effect of the long-term effects is, first things first, JPAL steps down in 2025, March, I believe, 2026, March.
Yep.
In comes a new Fed. Monetary policy will most likely ease. And it starts with tomorrow, right? If we were priced in, we'd be running hard. We just had a brutal 5% correction in the markets where things were down 30, 40, 50% like that. That to me is not priced in.
Sure.
That to me is it's the spring setup, right? It's the push
in the IWM in particular.
Yeah, so like IWM didn't have that brutal of a breakdown, but the names that are in the IWM absolutely hammered, right? Let's start with HIMS, 64 to 34, Rocket Lab, 75 to 40 or 39, ASTS destroyed, Otlo destroyed, Bloom Energy destroyed. These were all the small caps leading out of the April lows, all destroyed over the last month and a half or whatever. These names, and then you have the crypto names, right? Like BMNR and SBED and MicroStrategy and Coin and all these other things that are sitting in small caps. They got destroyed. And it's not like they're running at all-time highs already here, right? If you were anticipating an FOMC policy change and not just a rate cut, but a policy change, this market would have already taken off, right? We'd already be front leading the price action. That's my opinion, right? I can be wrong. I've been wrong many times before, but that's my opinion. We are not. We're still sitting coiling under the 2021 highs in the IWM, or right above the 2021 highs and the 2024 highs and the 2025 highs. So I don't think we're priced in the way that a shift. If you remember, we had the first November 2021 is when Jay Powell came out and said inflation has run amok. I'm going to do nothing until March because I'm a dumbass. But inflation is nuts and we must do something about it, but we're not going to touch it until March. March was their first rate cut, right? And
too late.
Then,
right. It was too late.
Very, very, very late. I'd argue this is the 5th rate cut of this cycle. It's the 3rd consecutive one, potentially, but it's the 5th one of the cycle. September, December, September, October, and potentially December again. It'll be the 5th one. I don't think anything is priced in. I think everyone's in a wait and see mode to deploy capital.
I think that's fair, GP. I'm not disagreeing with you. I was just laying out why people say that, right? And we've talked about what we think Fed policy is and should be. But at the end of the day, right, it's about the charts. We're all technical guys. We look at the macro because we're not stupid, but it doesn't rule our lives, right? So I'm here for the springboard. I am invested. I am positioned long. I mean, let's do this. Just fucking do it, as JFDI stands for.
I was just gonna say that. Yeah.
So as far as you go, GP, there is no ifs and thens. We're ready. We're on the runway, ready to take off. Right.
Yeah.
That is the ifs and then is like, boom, rate cut. We're moving forward. Oh, and Jay Powell's term is over in May, so he will have more than the first quarter. Still as the Fed chair. I think they'll have 2. I need to double check, but I think they at least have 2 meetings planned during that time. So we'll still
January 27th, 28th, and March 17th, 18th.
Yeah, we'll still get to see the homie for a couple more times and listen to his data dependence. Moving right along. You named a bunch of shitcos a moment ago, GP. I know you love hymns. We're not gonna jump on the hymns bandwagon today, but each of you, are there a name or two that you like considerably more than the other? And if you like hymns, that's fine. But we've rung the bull thesis on hymns, just like Jay Powell rings the data dependent bell. I hear Nick likes Frog.
Yeah. I do like. I mean, Frog looks fantastic. I was going to point to ONDS and Joby. I still think the drone stuff is going to be kind of the future. I think. Let's see. Path. I think are nearing stage 2. Those should definitely be on your radar. DOCN. Also stage 2.
How about that one?
Like fucking like. I guess I don't know if these are necessarily shitcos, but the stage 1 bases look phenomenal. But yeah, I like Frog too, John. I mean, I think John hopped in here just to ask you about Frog. What did you say about Frog that I missed?
I didn't say anything, Frog. I said, why are we talking about Frog? I haven't talked about Frog in ages, and now John he likes to troll with it. I still like Roku. GP might tear me down on Roku, but I still think it has the same setups that Roblox did, and we all saw what Roblox did once it busted out of there. Here's a hated name. I'm not going to call it a shitco in regards to it being a small cap, but I'm going to pull it up. PayPal. I like it down here. I'm not saying it goes back to all-time highs, GP, but I like it for a trade in the 60s. Anything can trade. Anything can trade. I mean, you said a few pukey names in your past, and I'm saying this one now. I kind of like the way PayPal looks. GP, your turn.
Rocket Labs. So what I will say about all these shitcodes is the one thing that you gotta watch for if it happens in similar to 2021 is that double tops occur, right? So XYZ, Roku were the 2021 darlings. They all had this massive correction, tried to break out again and failed, and then started the precipice of death, right? So that's the one caveat that I have for all of these names, that if they start to show double tops, please exit or find ways to take profits, because I don't think it's going to be kind to most people. These have more than 10, 20, 30x in the last year. So it kind of tracks from that perspective. But number one, Rocket Labs, I got in at 42 last week. It is now at 52. Nice. Fantastic move off the edge.
Nice 20%er.
Yeah, dude, it was, and I didn't buy ASTS because that would have been better. But the other ones I like, shitco, the number one shitco on the planet, Tesla.
Don't disagree.
Right? Open is it is the classic Carvana setup. It is like literally to the T what Carvana looked like before Carvana went nuts.
Before Carvana got put into the S&P 500, yeah.
Can Open replicate that? Only if management executes. That will be and Carvana's management understood the task from the beginning, which was go profitable. We talked about this many times on the podcast. Open's in the same planet. Rate cuts happen, all that other stuff. The housing market actually unlocks in the favor of buyers, not sellers. Inventory hits the market, drives prices down. That's my opinion. And I think it gives opportunities for people to shift that they've been stuck in for the last 3 to 5 years. Lemonade only goes up on earnings, but long term, this looks fantastic.
You gotta love a nice bowl shape there.
Another shitco is XOM. Love this. I am long this.
Are we getting in the oil patch now, GP?
Dude, I'm long copper and oil. So
who is this man?
I will
get on the ski chalet, GP, and come home immediately.
Guys, look at the XOM chart. Like
I know.
It is ready for prime time. Look at what XOM is doing today, and look at what oil is doing today. It tells you all you need to know about where this chart will eventually go. And yes, I like to rhyme. Another shitco is where is it? Why am I don't A-Lab. Love the A-Lab retest and push higher. Love the other one. Celsius.
Arm? TEM.
CELH. No, man. So my theory for
Fucking
2026.
Celsius.
I know, but my theory for 2026 is real world economy stocks, copper, oil, open. If you like, and the charts actually represent this, right? Like they're telling you the story of what potentially 2026 looks like. Celsius on a weekly basis had the golden cross, the 50-200 SMA cross up, and into that cross up we've talked about many times was this nasty earnings response, which is the weakness we typically see right before the cross takes off for the trend higher. And since then, it is basing nicely. So over here this week, if it closes where it is, this will be a new long for me. This is that stage 1 breakout to stage 2 retest and go, Nick. Like this is where it doesn't take the soul out of your body. This is where you get reincarnated to the promised land. So I actually really like Roku as well, Ben. It's got a lot of accumulation. It's got the same similar setup as Wayfair.
Damn right you do. It's a good looking chart. You might not like PayPal, but Roku looks great.
Roku has the accumulation that PayPal doesn't. Same thing with XYZ. Like they're just not wanted by anyone. And if no one wants it, why do I?
I'm just saying I think you can trade from $60. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying it goes to all-time highs. I couch that over on the side. But you're speaking about reincarnation. Like I feel that way every time I put money back into Soxel, like I did this morning off the lows. So while you guys are working on the shitcos, I just keep doing the same thing that just keeps working until it doesn't work anymore. And I'm happy to be back in Soxel. I sold some Friday near the highs and bought a little bit back, almost 3 cents off the low this morning. So we'll see how that goes for me. But I like it here. And Za's putting a ton of tickers right now in here, and we can't keep up with them. Za, pick like 3 and put them all together for us to look at.
Za, how are you forgetting Restoration Hardware?
Bro is just spamming the chat right now, which I love. But give us 3. He said he can't help it. We're going to have Za on the show soon. Speaking of the show, we're going to have special shows coming up. This year, we happen to have Community Rip Live on StockTwits, 2 p.m. Wednesdays. We get back-to-back Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve sessions. So won't that be wonderful over on the other show on StockTwits? I'm looking forward to it. I think the New Year's Eve show, we're going to do our resolutions and our best pick for 2026. Sound good, guys? Sound good?
Yeah.
I've got it written down here. We always do our resolutions, and we always try to at least make one pick.
The number one shitco.
The number one.
We're all forgetting the number one shitco. RIVN.
I was going to say strategy.
No, Rivian's got the base.
Yeah, Rivian's great. I mean, I would consider this a shitco, but I guess it is a shitco. So there you go. Rivian's a position I've been in for too long.
Yeah, and the theory still stands. Rivian outperforms Tesla this year. I wouldn't be surprised if Rivian is next year's Palantir.
Well, I just.
You think so? Oh.
I just love I just love that, right? Like trade the ranges. I was up here somewhere in the 20s, right? That was 2023. Yeah, I bought this up here, so I was able to lower the costs by doing that, right? And I love it, GP. I mean, I'm here for it. I'm not anxious to get out of my shares, but yeah, it's a position that I'm looking forward to it expanding and appreciating more for sure. So I am here for that. I am positioned for it and welcome it.
Yeah.
Just like we welcome everyone to the show.
Yeah. And that comes from, for me, and I know everyone trades differently, is I do not want to be caught in stage one bases. I just don't.
No,
that's not
either.
It is a miserable, lifeless, soulless journey for me. I don't like it. And like the prime example is Wayfair, right? Like it's looked good for a really long time, and until the fundamentals come together, it doesn't break out. And that journey can be 2 years, 6 months, 10 years, 17 years, 20 years. Look at how long it took Micron.
Yeah, God, Micron took a decade.
2 decades. it and once it cleared, it was game on, right? So you had this moment where you could have been miserable for 20 years, or just taken the retest of the .com high and cleared 100% in a year, right? Like,
yep. I'm a glutton for punishment and cheap shares, so if you took the Micron trade back in April during Liberation Day, I mean, you're up 300%. That's pretty good. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
I was looking at the Carvana chart while you were sorry, GP. I was looking at the Carvana chart. If you'd bought anywhere down before the major breakout in 23, you're up like 2,800 to 3,400%, which is just stupid. Like I don't know if you guys caught it, but I flashed up CarMax there, toilet water.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just.
But that was the thing about Carvana, right? Like, even if you didn't catch it at the $7 mark where the squeeze started happening, right?
It's just crazy.
And you waited till Carvana 4x from there, right around 35. I posted the charts over the weekend. You didn't even need to catch it at the 7. You could have caught it in the 35 to 40 range, where it was facing, and you're still up 10x.
Well, we even talked about this right here when it happened, right?
Yeah.
Like we were like, that's pretty appealing. And if you bought anywhere down there, I mean, you're only up 1,200%, right? Like, Jesus, it's a crazy move.
Yeah.
Congrats, Longs.
Sanity.
So, like, can you do a comparison of open while you have this open anywhere?
So are you saying the same thing's going to happen in open?
Dude, I'm
similar, right? We're not going to
RIVN on this financial advice that I'm receiving from Mr. GP over there.
Drink.
But look, dude, look at that is your favorite setup, Nick. That is a high and tight flag, 3 months tight on zero volume, and the fundamentals aren't improving. Right? Like, it's not like they've gotten better, right? So if you're looking for things that are front-running markets, open stands at the highest flag here across the board. And so what I know is when stocks that shouldn't be where they are showing relative strength on this kind of move, it's probably best to pay attention. Maybe you don't full port it, because I don't offer financial advice. I only make suggestions on what I'm doing.
That's right. That's right.
These are things you should notice, right? Like, holy crap! Like this went from 50 cents to $8, and on every other planet, this goes back to 50 cents.
Yeah,
I think in the same breath or conversation as like getting caught in a stage one base, you could kind of apply to open as well. It's like, for the more active guys that are perpetually scanning, open is as simple as setting an alert at like $8. You could set an alert at 8 or 5, like, and pretty much just ignore it so long as it stays within that kind of range. I mean, if it pops to 8, it's taking out the high of the last 2 weeks, and you could probably, or you'd probably be in the camp that it's going to start to, resume trend. If you were really a believer in it and wanted to attempt a knife catch at versus like $5, you're basically catching a retest of the high of that was it the July 21st candle, that high. And then you have kind of a low cost. So I think again, like I said, in the same breath as a stage 1 base, when you see like a nice range like this, it's the same thing. Just set the fucking alerts and you don't even have to pay attention to it. The alerts will let you know when to get involved.
Yep.
It's wild. Full port Rivian, full port open. Check.
Ooh. PLD.
I guess it's not full port. It's like half, right? 50% port.
Yeah.
Nick, would you go 50% open, 50% Rivian, or would you split it in a different percentage?
I'd probably go, just being that I like the base in Rivian, I'd probably go like 60% Rivian and 40% open, but at least open's already gotten the breakout, and the trend is up. So, shit, maybe I got that backwards.
Zaw just posted CCJ. I threw up CCJ this weekend. Kamiko.
Yep.
They are nuclear. But look at this guy. Let me pull up my version of the chart. I mean, just look at this trend. Look at that. I mean, it's beautiful. Like, this is textbook like trend. Regardless of what you think of my channels, like, there you go. I don't know. I liked it at 90, so I like it at 92. There you go. Anyway, CCJ. Thanks, Zaw, for bringing that one up.
That PLD that he just posted too, I thought looked fantastic. It's kind of in our range currently, but it's putting in a 3-week tight just above the 5-week and the 5 and 10 week. So it's, I don't know.
Yeah, no, it looks good too. I mean, it's got a rounded bottom there, right? Should be an easy stop out below the moving averages is where I would play it. But I mean, I guess if I was really convinced, I'd give it to like 104 or 5, something like that.
Carson's
PDD. Yeah. We'll look at that one. We got a couple minutes. PDD.
I like the range.
I go over 153, 154.
Yeah. I like the. Do you have the weekly? What time frame you get the monthly? Yeah, monthly. I like the range it's putting in between 100 and 150. Yeah, kind of same thing. Like where I would set alerts on it. I'd set alerts at 100 just because it's the round number. I'd set alerts at like 120, and then again at probably like 141. All three are still within the range, but if I was getting involved at the 120, you're kind of mid-range, and it sets you up to keep your costs down on a breakout of the range. Obviously, if you don't get the breakout, then it's neither here nor there. It's just kind of probably a push trade. But yeah, I like it. It looks kind of weak here, just being that it's under the 30 and 40 week moving average, but at the same time it went 3-week tight here on the 40. So some might argue it's a bear flag. I wouldn't call it a bear flag.
I wouldn't call it a bear flag either, Nick, but what I don't like seeing is when you have this move, right? And then it starts to build this out and it fails multiple times in a row. And maybe it's building back up to do it again, but it knocked 3 times and it couldn't break that 154. So I can make a bullish case for the chart. That's just something that's a red flag for me when I see that. It's just sort of like, hey, you gotta keep it tight on this one.
Yeah, and then like we were just kind of talking, like it's range bound.
Yeah,
it's literally trapped in a range from 100 to 150. It's
GP,
no different than a stage one
PDD?
base or what's that?
Ask GP if he had any thoughts on
I'm
PDD.
looking. I was just looking at. China in general looks good, right?
Yeah.
Like, I think Baba looks fantastic. PDD has underperformed, like JD. So to me, I'm just like, I'd rather take the ones that have outperformed over time. Like Futu looks better. That's just me, right? Like China is a black hole in general when it comes to price action. Baba looks better.
Nutties.
So the PDD, the thing I have the issue with PDD is that massive sell off that happened earlier in August of 2024. It was a massive red volume candle, and we've been kind of trapped at that range in PDD since. And so like that, it just doesn't, like, I have certain criteria when I look at charts that like my eyes just go boom. I really want to dig into this more, and PDD doesn't give me that. I wish you guys the best of luck with it. So
yeah.
Like, look at that's the Baba chart, right? You have up there?
No, this is FXI. I can bring up Baba.
Yeah. So like Baba, this is your stage 2 breakout retest. And to me, this has got more power to it, right? And it's not expensive by any means. So just experience over time. If things are weak compared to their partners in the same space, then they're weak for a reason. And you typically don't know the reason why until it's too late. Right? Like look at how many people were, I'm gonna catch JD because it's weak. Like pull up the JD chart while
I would rather not pull up the JD chart. I mean, I will, but JD has been that's Home Depot, which has its problems of its own. There's JD.
Right? Like while Baba was doing this is near the recent lows and below the recent pivot lows. And how many people were touting JD as the next China name to go bananas, and I just refused to. So I rather operate in relative strength in a relatively strong market. They just tend to work better over time. You might win some here and there.
JD's been the chosen one, right? Heir apparent since 2018 or 2017, and it has not done that.
Yeah, I think when probability wise, if you stick to strength within a strong part of the markets, they tend to work out better over time. Yes, can you get a couple here that are mispriced by the markets? Sure, right? And they surprise. But over time, if you continue to do those setups, you're going to experience more pain than gain.
Got time for one more chart. Anybody? Nick's throwing out the airlines. Za, we know Embraer looks awesome. You can't take over the show with your 4,700 charts, but I love you anyway.
Matt actually pointed out Jets last week, which kind of fell off my radar. I had been watching it actually quite a bit, and then actually Howard was giving me shit about it on Stock Twits. And then
about watching Jets?
The setup failed, and we kind of rallied back to that point, went sideways, and now I don't know. I think the Jets looks good. Delta is always the one that I kind of go to. Trying to think of like what other ones are there, because Alaska Airlines doesn't look that great to me. But Jets is like the ETF, and then Delta I think looks great. But yeah, Matt pointed that out last week. I think it was ALGT.
Looks great. I mean, I I love to see the rounded structure. So I like very much. All right, it's that time. Last words. G Pies, lead us off.
Life's short. Try to be a reasonable person. The markets will be there all the time, and be kind to everyone around you, because you never know when things will change.
I love it, GB. Nicholas?
Yeah. Pushing into the holidays. Phenomenal time to, I don't know, think about all the things that you're grateful for. And perhaps things that you want to work on heading into the next year. I'm not like really a big believer in New Year's resolutions and that kind of shit. The moment you kind of realize it, like, get on it. So
yeah, there's no reason to wait for the calendar to turn a page or a year, right?
Yeah, the reality is it's never too late. And I know a lot of us can kind of get trapped in that thinking and that mentality where it's, again, it's never too late. You're never too far gone.
Love it. So. Mine for this week will just be, one day, one step at a time. And just like that, we're off of this show for the rest of the week. We'll be back on Tuesday for this show, but tomorrow you can catch us, as always, on StockTwits Community Ripple Live, 2 p.m. Eastern. We love to see you. Thanks for the chat. Remember, folks, if laughter is the best medicine, then today's episode was definitely over the counter. And we love you.
And please share us out. If you enjoy our shows, talk about us. More exposure we get, the more abilities we have to bring on guests, to do a lot of other things. So please get it out there and just share as much as you can. It's the season of giving.
And we're trying to do a good job with sharing more of our own clips. We're taking that in a little more, but if you want to just share the YouTube, share the YouTube. We appreciate it. We'll try to stop dropping so many F-bombs and other profound words, but we're going to be us at the end of the day. Love you guys. Love you, chat. GP, Nick, always a pleasure. That's the show. We'll see you tomorrow on Community Rip Live. Zaw said more F-bombs. Bowl cut Tuesdays.